we are seeing, anyone on the front lines, is that the level of violence is escalating. The number of victims and those being victimized are escalating. The intensity of the violence is escalating.
Juste au niveau des appels, on reçoit, au courant de la dernière année, on a reçu au-delà de 10 000 appels, que ce soit des appels de crise, des appels de soutien ou des appels de chat ou texte.
I think the critical moment happened and a wake-up call happened on September 22nd, 2015, when we lost 3 residents of Brentwood County. Then the inquest brought a lot of that back up to life, but now women are still dying at a rate of 1 a week.
The momentum since the 86 recommendations were released has certainly brought a focus on rural issues. It really, I think, heightened people's awareness of risk, of reality. Community is moving, and community is driving the momentum. They're tired of the level of violence, they're tired of the COVID realities in terms of exacerbating violence, and they're saying, yeah, we know what's happening, it is an epidemic, let's call it what it is and let's push.
When we think about gender-based violence and the unique moment that we're in, it's not just the immediate violence that a person is experiencing, but the ecosystems of care that have been deeply fragmented, that are impacting access.
Le logement abordable, si on travaille sur au niveau du transport et tout ça, bien, tout ça a un impact positif justement sur la violence faite aux femmes. Souvent, la femme demeure avec son abuseur parce qu'elle n'a pas accès à un autre logement, parce qu'elle n'a pas accès à un auto pour se rendre au service.
The challenge is resources. The challenge is affordable and safe housing. So it's fine to say, I'm ready to go, but where do I go?
It's not just safety planning now, it's like, how do we keep you alive until we get you out? And that should not be happening in 2023.
Some of those systemic gaps really gnaw at you because it can feel like a wall where it's like, how do you begin to imagine a world where we don't have to be talking about survivors not having access to the things that they need to be able to thrive?
At the core of all of this are the survivors and also the folks who didn't make it through being victims of intimate partner violence. And those days when I get to witness the resilience of people, the resilience of families, the support that's available, that's amazing.
We never know when you have an interaction with somebody what that's going to mean for them. And it could be years later when you find out, but they'll come back to you and say, you planted the seed in me that, I do deserve better, and whatever that seed may be, right?
What always draws me back is being able to go into the shelter and hang out with the kids. See their faces, see the fact that they are safer and they are coming through this on the other side. That just gives me hope.
Our movement to end gender-based violence needs folks with all sorts of different skills. So start wherever feels good for you, and that can include having a conversation at the dinner table.
Go to an event. Go to Take Back the Night. Go visit the mosaics. Go check us out. All genders are impacted by violence and should be part of the solution.
Everyone has knowledge and experience, whether they realize it or not, and every voice is wanted and needed.
Il faut sensibiliser, je pense, la communauté au fait que la violence faite aux femmes, ça existe dans notre région. Donc, on veut que monsieur, madame, tout le monde soit à l'affût de ça, puis de faire attention, puis de porter une attention particulière à son voisin.
It breaks all the boundaries of, financial access or education. It can happen to absolutely anyone, and that's really important that we note and we get that message out, because anybody needs to feel free to call any of the services.
We have to find our courage somewhere to, when we see violence, to name violence, and then we can change violence.
De façon générale, il faut sensibiliser nos communautés, éduquer nos communautés, puis il faut faire de la prévention. Je pense que c'est là qu'est la clé.
We need to be educating at schools, and we need to be talking about violence. What does a healthy relationship look like? We need community to ask difficult questions of our politicians around what are you doing about housing? What are you doing about the lack of, mental health supports? What are you doing about the issues of intimate partner violence, and why are so many people dying?
all three levels have a role to play. This is a nonpartisan issue, right? Gender-based violence is a nonpartisan issue.
Collaboration is hugely important. I think we actually know more about the rates of violence because more people are coming forward and we're talking about it more and working collaboratively with the United Way, with our police services, with our community safety and well-being team.
It's not just, folks coming together and having conversations, but it's also talking about coordination around, okay, we know that we're dealing with an issue around housing. What are the strategic areas in which we can all kind of collectively advocate for changes?
En fait, l'ajout de Centraide à la table, je trouve ça très intéressant justement pour de connecter justement tout le réseau ou même à l'extérieur du réseau de la violence faite aux femmes, parce que la violence faite aux femmes, ça touche tout le monde.
It just feels like an essential piece to have United Way connected.
It's almost like I would say like a wrap around us of information that we otherwise would not have access to. And to know that somebody is sitting there at that table who genuinely wants to help you with as few hoops to jump through as possible, it is such a blessing.
Being honored by this award is a really beautiful pat on the back because it is lonely work. We're kind of behind the scenes, and yes, every so often we have media attention, but nearly only when a tragedy occurs.
A lot of my family members don't know what I do day in and out because of the confidentiality, for one. And then people don't want to hear sad stuff, right? They want to hear what's going on in the world that's good, right? So I think for United Way to say, we recognize that you guys are doing this every day. You're in the trenches, you're doing the tough work, you're supporting women, you're keeping them alive, you're doing your best you can with what you have. That was monumental for me to say, that's okay. Somebody's recognizing the work we're doing, and wow.
It's a very proud moment, and I feel very proud for so many of the women who we've lost along the way or been taken from us to be able to say, look at us. We're making a difference and people are recognizing it. And I really just appreciate that, and I appreciate that we've all come a long way.
It's not an award for us, it really is for the everyday advocate that has put their life and their hard work and dedication to making the world a space that gender-based violence is eradicated. So I'm deeply grateful and humbled to be part of such a movement and community.